Okay, we are back. Now, I don't know what's going on. I can see my mic now moving, so I don't know. I think I just gotta work out the kinks again. This is my first time, so um, we're just gonna keep going. Go through it. If we drop again, I'll just add it again, and then this will end up being like a five-part thing. But where was I? Okay, so then Shattered Space DLC. So Starfield, I put like 22, 25 maybe hours into it. I do want to get back into it, but a lot of the changes they made to it, I think, will be good for the game. So they had a recent update with it before the DLC, even with like the maps, like not being encumbered, like all these things that people complain about that Bethesda kind of wanted, but it wasn't working for a lot of people, like me included. Like after a certain point, it's like this is an RPG. You got to pick up stuff, but then you're too heavy, and then you don't want to pick it up, or you're eating stuff just to get rid of it. The map, if you're trying to find an objective, it's kind of impossible. There's no levels to say, okay, here or here, like an actual waypoint to get to where you need to go. Like stuff like that seems small, but it can ruin an experience completely for a game. So I am interested to get back into it, and then playing the DLC. It does seem more of the like creepy, mysterious, like Dead Space even type vibe. So definitely interested in jumping back into it. State of Decay 3. I've never played either of these games in this franchise, but it seems to be like it's like a co-op survival horror, like I want to say tower defense type game, but we just got cinematics for it. I'm thinking this must be 2026 as well, so you can lump that in with the new Gears and Perfect Dark as far as release dates go. Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers. This seemed like a I don't want to call it a Souls like, but and kind of lump all these games into that category. But it seemed kind of interesting. I think it's in Game Pass, so I might check it out. But we'll have to see. It looks good for sure, but will it actually be good? We'll have to see. Other shows don't care. Metal Gear Solid Delta. So this is the remake that. And it seemed like Microsoft and Sony have been going back and forth with who gets to show this at their showcases for some reason. Like we keep seeing it at State of Play, then we see it at Xbox Showcase, or on their page, Xbox Wire posts and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird what's going on with this, but people are just happy Konami's actually putting out a game. So it looks pretty good though. I'm not a big stealth fan, but I do like stealth games with the option to do other, ways of going about it. Like recently I played Dishonored, and I liked it because it's like you could be stealthy, or you can kind of try and go in, not necessarily guns blazing, but you have different abilities you could kill, and not just like there's certain games where I feel like if you got caught or someone spotted you, it was basically over. Like you couldn't do anything about it. And like this game, it looks really good in Unreal Engine. I believe it's Unreal Engine 5. And then the different takedowns, it's going to be good. So I'm definitely interested in this game. That's a 2025 game as well, if I'm not mistaken. Fallout 76. I'm sorry. The live service stuff I don't care about. So I skip over that. Life is Strange, didn't care about Sea of Thieves, don't care about Adamfall. People were calling it Fallout from Timu. Like, I thought that was kind of neat, but that game definitely looks kind of interesting. Again, post-apocalyptic, coming into all that. Flintlock. So this game, I believe, was shown off 2 years ago, and it was part of that whole, hey, we'll be here within the next 12 months kind of thing. And this looks to be like a action Souls like RPG type game. Like I don't really know how to describe it outside of that, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Once it comes out, I think it comes out July 16th or 26th, something like, or 17th, something like that. It's definitely a July game, and it's going to be day one of Game Pass, so definitely interested in it. Winterboro didn't care about that. Frag Punk. So I recently got into Overwatch. I'm not like heavy into it. I know everybody complains about like hero shooters and stuff like that. So, but this game is definitely doing something unique. So, Frag Punk looking like a hero shooter, but then you can kind of level the playing field or change the game in many different ways with like it's like card based. So a lot of games are really taking card elements into it. Like what's the game? Balatro, one of those games people like. Marvel Snap. What's the other one? Neon White. Like people like card game elements being added into these games. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Like the way a game could just like it's kind of like the Smash Ball and Super Smash Bros. When that first came out back in Brawl. Like it's like the equalizer. Like the abilities aren't going to be that crazy, but I feel like it's going to be really interesting to see like how people combat it, or if there are, I'm sure there are better cards than other cards and stuff like that. So that's looking good. And then the last one on here, Mecha Break. I think it looked like I thought it was Gundam or something when I first saw it, but I'm not into like mech games like that. But it did seem pretty cool either way. So that was pretty much the whole showcase. So what I'll say like my top 3 games that was definitely like hyped about. I would say, believe it or not, even though I'm not like even a Doom fan, Doom the Dark Ages got me hyped. Gears E-Day, of course, and what would be a third? I really did like Perfect Dark, but I think that Expedition 33 game is that's gonna be one of those. But I also like I get scared with that because I feel like it's one of those games that could be really good, but then also could fall down in space. But I hope not. I hope not. So that was the entire showcase. But then after during IGN Live, we had Ryan McCaffrey who did a interview with Phil Spencer, just asking him about showcase, handhelds, studio closures. You kind of had to bring that up. Of course, we got a non-answer from that. But I did want to just go through like the highlights. If I could pull it up. Go through my history. Just had it. Okay. Bring all back over. This is good old Reddit right here. So this is just like the highlights of the interview, and I just like highlighted which ones I actually cared about. So from here down to here. So the first one is Doom: The Dark Ages coming to PS5? And I don't think that was an actual question. I think it was just like said in conversation. And Phil's answer to that was Doom is definitely one of those franchises that has a history of so many platforms. So it's a franchise that I think everyone deserves to play. So that's kind of the, I don't want to call it a safe answer, but that is like the, hey, it's been there. And the reason this was interesting is because it's kind of like, okay, so now what does that mean for, let's say, Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5 or any of these other legacy franchises? And I mean, I personally don't care that much. Again, like, yes, do you want to have value as a Xbox subscriber? Yeah, but it's kind of like, I think, or not subscriber, subscriber too, but as a Xbox customer. And it's like, yeah, you do, but at the same time, you are getting a value. Number one, you know for a fact you don't have to question whether the game's going to be on Xbox or not. That's number one. Number two, you're going to get it first. Number three, you have Game Pass. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, but I like owning my game and stuff like that. And I don't like it turning into this whole civil war between like physical, digital, and subscription services or whatever, but it's kind of like at the end of the day, you have the option. Like, you having Game Pass doesn't mean, even if you sign up for Game Pass and you play a game, it doesn't mean you can never buy it. And in fact, you can get it for cheaper because Game Pass, when you're subscribed and you want to buy a game, they sell it to you for cheaper. So this whole thing about games going to PS5, I feel like legacy franchises, they're going to go. I mean, there's not too many games that were multi-platform that are now just exclusive. Like, not that I can think of. I mean, I'm sure there has been some, but it's like, what games have been like that? We know games that were exclusive and went multi-plat, but there's not a lot of like multi-plat games that went exclusive. I think you get the money for that. Same thing with, well, people are questioning Elder Scrolls because they're like, Elder Scrolls could be a console seller, right? Especially if it launches with the next system. So I don't know, but Doom coming to PS5, I don't think is a big deal. But here's the thing with the recent studio closure. So said the closure of any team is hard. Now's the time to focus on the team and the individuals because it's obviously hard for them. It's said it over and over again. I have to make hard decisions to run a sustainable business. So again, kind of a non-answer. He did mention, severance packages and trying to make sure everybody's, good and whatever. But it's kind of like it's not even the fact that, oh, you have to tell us what happened. It's the fact that y'all literally said out of your own mouths, oh, we love what Tango Gameworks did. Specifically, that's the franchise, that's the studio people are really, honing in on. This is the game that won y'all awards when no one else was. It was a breath of fresh air. Shadow dropped it. It was a big deal. You said it exceeded all the metrics and y'all happy with the studio and all this kind of stuff. Y'all went out, took pictures with them, and then you closed them. So it's like, if you could say, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where we'll never know, and it's kind of like you don't want to look crazy by admitting you're hypocritical. So you'd rather just have people say you're hypocritical, or, oh, you were lying about the whole metrics thing, and I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to pour one out for Tango Gameworks. Was another question. I don't really care about the Activision Blizzard thing. Let's see. Fallout, we knew that. So this was the big one, the Xbox handheld. So the rumors are on the handheld. So Phil said, I don't want to say anything, but the future for us in hardware is pretty awesome. Today was about the game, so we will have a time to come out and talk more about platform. Now, platform, he didn't say console, platform. And that's what people have been saying. Are we going to get to the point where they're, not saying there won't be consoles, but where we'll stop naming them like PlayStation 6 and Xbox Series XX and Nintendo Switch 5 and all this kind of stuff? It's like, is it just going to be, I'm playing on Xbox, I'm playing on PlayStation, I'm playing on, well, Nintendo's the name of the company, but like, is that what it's going to turn into? And I feel like that's kind of where it's heading. Like, there's so many, like, or so little actual things that's, like, we've seen, I know, the pandemic and all this other stuff and crossplay and or cross-gen releases and all this kind of stuff, but like, we've seen the least amount of, what do you call it, like carryover, or not carryover, but like transition to the new generation. Like, we're halfway through the generation, and even more than that, considering Xbox is thinking about launching in 2026 or 2027. It's like most people just have their old systems. We've seen, I think it was half of the PSN players are on PS4 still. It's just people don't see the need of getting a PS5. There might be one or two games that they'll do it for, but it's just like, people ain't got money for it. all the other games is coming out on there. They could wait. Some of the games coming out on PC. If you got a PC, some people are just investing in PCs instead of buying these new consoles every year, or every generation, and all this kind of stuff catch a Steam sale. So we'll have to see. And then Ryan, I remember because I watched this interview, so he tried to get specific. He said, "Okay, so if the Xbox handheld did exist, would it be able to play without an internet connection?" So the reason he's asking that is because some of these handhelds, like the PlayStation Portal, you need, I think it uses like cloud streaming or something, or like remote play kind of in a sense. So you kind of have to be near the PS5 or have the PS5 on or something to play it, and it's kind of like, okay, it's not really native. Like the Steam Deck, the reason people like it so much is because you can literally go on the airplane or something and play a game that you normally can only play on your PC or on your Xbox or something. So in response to that, Phil said, I think the ability to play a game locally is very important. So he's pretty much telling us without actually telling us. He said he loves the Steam Deck, his ROG Ally, the whatever other ones are Logitech, what's it called, G Cloud or whatever. Like he plays these devices. Now, for me, I'm still torn if I want a handheld. I do. Whether I buy one or not is going to depend on a lot of other stuff. It's the handheld. Number one, I feel like it has to be dockable. Like, I don't think you're going to sell a lot of people. You'll sell units, but I think not being able to play on a screen or a TV, if you can't do that, then now you're kind of going to be in that two system. Like, they're not going to just have a handheld only. Like, that would be weird. So it's like either you're going to do that and then you have the traditional console still. But speaking of, they announced I forgot to mention during the showcase, they announced the other systems. So we got, in the fall, we got that all digital Xbox Series X and white, which we knew was coming, 1 terabyte. We got the 2 terabyte, it was like a space glitter looking Series X as well, and then a 1 terabyte Series S coming out, just a regular white version. So they're still pushing that, but I think they're going to just try and get those out this year and probably next year and then announce the new system. But yeah, again, for me, I do mostly do games on Game Pass or digitally when it comes to Xbox. I do have a few Xbox discs, but once I beat those games, like I got them for like $10, $15 on eBay. Like they're nothing crazy. So I don't like the fact that I don't have the option to put a disc in it, because that's the thing too. If it's handheld, there's no way they can fit a disc on there. Like Nintendo has a cartridge, tiny cartridge in their Switch. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what goes on. But to finish up, since we're talking on Nintendo already, let's talk about the rumors, or not even the rumors. So Nintendo themselves said they would be having a Nintendo Direct in June, and people are like, okay, normally they do it like the beginning or second week of June. They do an announcement the day before, and then they do the Direct the day after. So it's already Wednesday. They did do an announcement today, so it's not going to be Thursday, and they never do Directs on Friday. So people are pretty much saying like it's going to be next week. I hope it's early in the week if it's next week, because I actually do have off from work, so I can finally, stream something, live stream the Nintendo Direct. So that'll be cool. But yeah, I mean, what do I think I'll do a predictions video and then post it once the Switch once the Nintendo Direct gets announced. I'll post the video. So I might try to think. I don't want to not have a video for Sunday, but I also don't want to post a predictions video before a Direct is announced. So I might have to push Sunday's video to like Monday or Tuesday, or like whenever Nintendo announces the direct, I'm gonna just post that up. So and I'm sure people do that. They record predictions way ahead of time, and then they'll just post it after or whatever. But so when it comes to the Nintendo Direct, they said they will not be showing the new hardware. They did mention the new hardware is being worked on and will be released this fiscal year. So the fiscal year for Nintendo is up until March next year. So we'll probably see it announced maybe October, November, something like that. I'd say October, and then that gives them like 4 months, 5 months to kind of do a bunch of marketing up till the release. So that's what I think for that. As far as the direct goes, I think we'll see, again, it's near the end of the Switch life cycle, so we'll see more remasters and remakes and stuff like that. So I think we'll we'll finally get the Twilight. If we don't get Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, which I don't think is a double pack like everybody's saying, Nintendo knows they could sell both of those for $60 a pop. If we don't get them this time, I don't think we'll ever get them. But it'll be weird to not have them because we have every Zelda game on the Switch at this point. We have the two Nintendo 64 ones because of the NSO. They did Skyward Sword HD. We got the Oracle games. We got Link to the Past. We got pretty much every game we got Minish Cap. Pretty much everything that's not on DS. And then Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. That's it. That's the ones we don't have. So as soon as they bring that, then we'll have to see what else they would bring. I don't know what else they announced. I think Metroid Prime 4 definitely will get announced. Like these are kind of like the surefire games. I don't think there will be any like super big surprises that are like mind blowing. But for a lot of Nintendo fans, if you get those two announcements, the new Fire Emblem remake, they'll be good to go. So I think that's what will happen with the Direct. Hopefully it'll be, I'm hearing it's rumored for the 18th, which would be next Tuesday. I think they do normally do directs on like Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So again, I'll be home, so I'll be able to stream that. So yeah, looking forward to it. I've never played Wind Waker, so I think I played like 2 seconds of it. Like my aunt had a GameCube in the house for whatever reason, and I played it a little bit like the first mission. I didn't even beat it. Like when you have to be stealthy in the bird fortress or whatever. So I'm looking forward to that. Twilight Princess was the only game I had on the Wii for like a while when it first came out, so I do want to replay through that. I've been contemplating. I do have a Wii behind me, and I've been contemplating, did I want to buy it on there? Because for some reason, the GameCube version, I guess because it's technically the first version, even though I think it came out the same day or a couple days after the Wii version, and Link's left-handed in and all this stuff, whatever. Like, that complete in box is like, I think like $80 or over $100, and then for the Wii, you could get it for like less than $20. So I almost bought it, but then I remembered like if it comes on the Switch, I'm never gonna play it on the Wii. There's no reason to. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, so that pretty much does it. This is the first episode of State of the Gaming Industry. Again, I'm trying to do these every Wednesday, which is kind of just like, a recap of what's happened in the gaming world, and yeah. So again, new to this. Hopefully, I don't even know what the audio of this sounds like. We try. But I appreciate you guys. Whoever did come out, definitely leave a like on this. Share it with people, because I feel like I never say that. Share it with people. To grow the audience here and everything like that. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't. And I'll catch you on the next stream or video.